Hello cutie pies. We've made a video 2 weeks ago in which we reacted to Saint talking about Brelshaza and the difficulty level. Now we are in the second week of it, and after clearing it again while getting our ass carried big time, we wanted to share our thoughts about the raid itself, the difficulty level and our perspective on the game's direction right now, as it heavily impacts our future roster plans. But first, if you like our channel, please consider subscribing. It's totally free and you will be informed about future content, and it helps us a lot to reach our goal of 1000 subscribers. Without further ado, let's dive straight into it. From our perspective, a small minority of the community was craving for a real challenge, because the last couple of months before Brel have been burrowing due to the insane power spike we got from getting access to the Arc passive system. And with the original difficulty level Korea has, although including the 8% nerf Korea got a bit after release, we got the challenge people were craving for. Depending on who you ask, the damage requirement per person is between 90 and 110 mil, while the truth is probably somewhere around 95 to 100 million. The big question is, of course, if that is a realistic number to hit, and from our perspective, for most people on item level, it isn't. It looks like the raid was designed and advertised as a 1690 raid, but it does not seem to be realistic to reach the damage requirement if you are 1690. Of course, some of you have golden hands and or have one of the strongest classes in the game and you can reach it, but if we are all honest about it, it is not feasible for the majority of the player base. If we compare the raid with Aegir, which was already heavily nerfed on our release, it is fair to say that it was relatively easy to clear it on item level. In the newest installment of Brel, it is not the case, and we believe if you define an eye level requirement for a raid, it should be clearable with set eye level. However, in the current version, you only have two options to clear the raid. Number one is the quote-unquote easy one, and you just overgear yourself to the teeth and the clear will be achievable relatively fast. The other one is that you invest an insane amount of time to be able to clear this raid while being blindfolded and squeeze out as much damage as you can, while subs give you a 90+ uptime. If you've seen us on Twitch or our clear video on YouTube, you can see that we went with option number 2 for our first clear with only 7 seconds left on the clock. But that is not feasible for most of the player base. We are full-time streaming and can invest this amount of time, but again, many of the other Lost Ark enjoyers can't. Now, let's address the question if that is a problem. Hard mode should be hard, right? Why does it have to be approachable for every player? And we even agree with that concept. If you play a hard mode raid, it should be a challenge, but from our perspective it is overtuned, which in and of itself doesn't have to be a big problem, because we got the frontier system, right? Hardcore players can enjoy the difficulty level for 2 weeks and afterwards it's approachable for everyone in theory. What we do think though is a problem is that you timegate a title related to this challenge, because you essentially create another gatekeep hurdle which will probably affect hard mode forever and will also ripple down into normal mode. Creating that title was not a smart decision, as the only thing it does is causing FOMO. Just check the material and relic book prices since Brel release. And on top of that, there is more gatekeeping. Don't get me wrong, you will be able to find lobbies without the title, but we've already seen quite some normal mode lobbies requiring Phantom Lord to join. And for hard mode, it's probably going to be that way for the foreseeable future. So what about the argument that you can just go to normal modes? Let's address this as well. We actually have 2 characters for Brel hard mode, but we decided to not try to clear it with our supports, because I know I will not be able to provide a proper uptime to clear this raid with similar geared people, and the chances of randomly ending up in a juicer lobby who tag you along are slim. And I also don't want to hold other people back. I'm just not good enough as a support player. In principle, there's nothing wrong with stepping down, accepting you can't clear something with the character you have, especially as the benefit of the karma system for a sub is not really that significant compared to a DPS. However, if we look at the materials for the karma system we get in normal mode, it will take you forever to gain some significant level of power increase. If they would increase the rewards for normal modes, it would for sure make it easier to digest that hard mode is just not for you. Instead of providing half, it could be maybe 3/4. Overall, the frontier system is a great idea, even though we don't know yet how big the nerf will be. But maybe that was even on purpose, as AGS might not be sure what an appropriate nerf should be without having data on the first 2 weeks' performance. But we hope with the benefit of hindsight they will rethink how the frontier system should work for the next Kazaros raid. But given that time-gated titles induce FOMO and therefore probably make money, we are not sure if it will be changed. But enough about the raid itself. I mentioned initially that all of this affects our future roster plans. This is only the second time that we do a hard mode raid in the first week, with Aegir being the first one. And for us, it was a new experience having such challenging raids, which we've only had so far when we went for Talmine Gate 4 back in Tier 3 for the first time. From what we've seen now and what we can witness in Korea with the new raid is that the times where you can have multiple characters on hard mode requirements are over for most people. If you're not heavily swiping, bussing or sweating multiple rosters, what most people, including us, will have to do is to focus on one main character. We thought you can go in a raid that is advertised for 1690 eye level and can play it as a 1690. Some mid and some high roll accessories and a slightly higher weapon will do the trick. And while we were doing enough damage to meet the requirement, it was cutting it close, and you need a group that performs and executes close to perfection. Realistically, in the Party Finder experience, this is going to be a rough and time-intensive experience. While in the past we enjoyed having all our characters on the lowest rate, or slowly getting them there, we will probably move away from it and juice our main up a bit more. And you know how the prices are. Everything is still really expensive and it will take a lot of gold to bring that one character up. It is a bit of a shame as Smilegate or Amazon Games gave us a taste of how it can be, having many characters on endgame content at the end of Tier 3. But to be fair, the game from our point of view was not designed that way without investing heavily. So what do you guys think about the new raid, the frontier system and also the title behind it? And does this raid affect how you will play your roster going forward? Let us know in the comments below, and if you like this video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe for future content like this. It helps us a lot on our goal to reach 1000 subscribers. Hope you guys are having a great day and see you in Acacia. Bye bye!